Jesus Christ says, let me not paraphrase, let's go there. Well, it won't take too long either. He says, for when the Spirit of truth is come, he shall guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. The Spirit of God only speaks what comes from the Father. That is it. It's not going to tell you anything other than what comes from the Father. For when the Spirit of truth is come, 16, where is it at? It's John 16, Howbeit when the Spirit of truth is come, he shall guide you into all truth, for he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak. Who is he going to hear from? He's only going to hear from Christ, not hearing from anyone else but Christ, but the Father. That's the only ones he listens to. That Spirit dwells in, that truth dwells in the believers. And what Paul was trying to get the Corinthian church to understand is, one, you're the church, you shouldn't be behaving this way. And now in verse 17, he says, if any man defiles, so what he's talking about, if any man corrupts or desecrates, or if any man mars or blemishes the church. How do you mar or blemish the church? Are we talking about taking a marker and marking a wall? No, that's not what he's talking about. Remember, this is metaphorical terminology. How you mar and blemish the church, the building, is through your behavior and through your words. By the words you shall be justified, by the words you shall be condemned. That's how you mar the church. That's how you defile the church. And contrariwise, what he's saying is, if any man defiles the church, him shall God destroy. Destroy does not mean eradication or annihilation. He's talking about severely judge or punish. It could be that. It could be death. But the immediate context is talking about punishment, judgment, terms of that nature. It's not talking about killing someone. The immediate context is in reference to believers. Yeah, any man, we know that. If any man defiles the church, him shall God destroy. But it's not really talking about any man. It includes or encompasses all mankind. But directly speaking, he's talking about believers. That's who Paul is talking about. Why? Because the temple is holy. The temple is set apart for religious and ceremonial use. The building of God is for religious and ceremonial use. That's what the building of God is for. The people of God is for religious and ceremonial use. But now we got to understand what that means, religion and ceremonial. Because I'm certainly not talking about baptism by water. That's not what I'm talking. That's not what the Bible's talking about either. For religious and ceremonial use. That's not what he's talking about. He's certainly not talking about wafers and grapefruit juice. He's talking about being able to comfort one another. He's talking about being able to walk in righteousness. He's talking about monitoring our thoughts and our behaviors, our overall lifestyle. He's talking about having the mind of Christ in us. He's talking about making ourselves of no reputation. He's talking about adding unto our faith virtue, temperance, patience. He's talking about the fruits of the Spirit, or the behavior and the conduct and the character that the Spirit brings forth out of a believer. That's what he's talking about. And so the context here is for a guy like me, Aaron, when I'm behaving in a manner that I shouldn't behave, or I'm talking about things I shouldn't be talking about, or I'm using words that I shouldn't be using, he's talking about me, saying, Aaron, don't you know who you are? You are the church. Know ye not that the Spirit of God dwells in you? If any man defiles the temple of God, him shall God destroy, him shall God judge, him shall God punish. He just got through talking about the fiery trials of life. Well, he says that if any man's work doesn't stand, he shall be saved, yet so as by fire. So he's talking to Aaron, saying, Aaron, if your behavior is not in line with the foundation of Jesus Christ, you're marring the temple. You're ruining and corrupting the church. And if any man corrupts the church, him shall God punish, him shall God judge. But I'll be saved, so yet as by fire. Lord, thank you for this message. Thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, for the death on the cross, for our sins, for mine, and for all that believe in his Son. Thank you for the message. I thank you for giving me the words to be able to express your word, Father. I pray for everyone's safety out there, especially those that believe in the gospel. I pray that we may be able to live a quiet and peaceable life in a cruel and wicked world. Until next time, thank you guys for joining me. Look to seeing you again. God bless.